We're going to replace this old ugly fireplace with a new, more modern fireplace. So the first step was removing the brick facade. Gives you access to the old box and the old flue. Pull back the insulation a little bit, as you can see here, and then proceeded to remove the flue in the firebox, which, because it's a two-story house, was a ton of work. My mum and I got to it and got it sorted out. So here it is, all cleaned up, insulation removed. Started erecting the frame here, using 4x4s to reinforce the frame because I'll have a TV hung up there, so didn't want it to fall down, and I had plenty of 4x4 lying around. So I insulated the back wall, ran Cat6 cable for networking, and then I put some 3/8 bits of plywood at the back there to make sure that the insulation didn't fall down on the new fireplace. So now we're starting to run some electrical. You can see the frame starting to come together. I'll actually use some more 4x4s you'll see in a later shot to reinforce the whole thing. It was a little bit wobbly, honestly, but with the reinforcement, it doesn't wobble at all now. So there's a platform coming together. I want the fireplace a little bit off the ground. It's a linear fireplace. You'll see some shots of that in a moment. And getting it off the ground was a good idea anyway. So here it is all coming together. The frame at least. Mendota have some pretty good documentation on how to make the frame. This is the platform support. It's bolted into the concrete slab. There's the platform, and all done with tons of 4x4s. Alright, so here's the frame for the ML47 heater from Mendota that I'm going to be putting in. As you can see, I built it out of 2x4 and 4x4. I put the 3 vertical beams up there so I have something to screw the television enclosure into, and double stack the 4x4s just in case I want to have a mantle there to deflect some of the heat if it becomes a problem. So basic dimensions: the width of the thing needs to be 54.25 inches. The height of the thing needs to be 39 inches, and depth needs to be 19.5. So I've got this exactly at 54.25. I'm a little higher than 39. That's just rough framing. I'm actually 39.5, so I'm pretty good there. I am good on depth to the nearest combustible surface, which will be 21 3/4 inches. So that needs to be 19.5, so I've got some play there. And then I built a box to get it off the ground a little bit, and so the box itself is let's see, roughly 12 inches above the finished floor, and then the glass will be around 9 inches above that, I believe, 9.25, something like that. Got the low voltage in. I'm going to run some Cat6 and HDMI into the television. I've got the Cat6 just behind here, and it comes out on the outlet down here near the cable. Electrical box. I decided to reinforce it with some metal angle brackets, just because I don't really like toe nailing, so don't really need to do it, I guess. I just do it cheap and just strengthens the whole thing up. That's the general gist of it. I'm using 2x6s at the back because I needed to tie into some studs there. So 2x4 I wouldn't have had enough room to tie in very well, so I tied in with 2x6s. And then at the ground, around the perimeter here, I've got treated wood, 2x4, 2x6s, and then I've anchored it into the slab using anchor bolts. So pretty straightforward. The deck itself, I think 3/4 inch plywood, so pretty strong. I can stand on it, no drama. And when the heater goes in, it should slide into this cavity fairly easily. Push back, and then they're going to run the vent straight through the back
here, and I'm pretty much got enough room for it to miss the studs. Not pretty much, I have got enough room. So next up is I've got to finish the electrical. I'm tying into the outlets, and that ran previously between here, in the back here. So when I took the old heater out, I've got access to the electrical line, so I'll tie into that, and that'll be the power for the television and for the heater. And I've got gas, which I had already. For the old heater, it's already available, you can't see it. I'll probably take a video of that later. And I'm going to have a plumber come in and sort that out. It's not a big deal, just using black pipe to connect it all up. So all in all, it took about to do all the framing and excavating, removing the old heater and getting rid of the bricks behind it, which I haven't got a video for, but that was a relatively big job. It took about, I guess about 3 weeks working on the weekends. But now the framing's basically finished. I just have to wait for the heater to be delivered, and then the guys will come in and install it. We'll go from there. And when it's installed, I'll take another video and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so here's the Mendota ML 47. The frame is actually installed. Had professionals come in and do that. Did a good job. They put in the venting, and they physically installed the unit itself. There's actually quite a bit of work involved in doing it, so if you're not too worried about spending the extra $400 or $500 and getting it installed, then I'd highly recommend it. It just makes it real easy. They'll do everything except the electrical and the gas. They put the blowers in there. The blowers are optional. One thing to think of though, before you install the unit in the frame, you want to put the blowers in, because they can go in from the front, but it's much easier if you take them in from the back. And that's what the installers did. And so today we're going to hook up the gas, hook up the electric. I'll put the rest of the stuff that you can see down here in there, and hopefully we'll get to fire it up. So we'll see what it runs like. There's some extra parts over here. They're the rocks and basically the stuff that goes inside the fireplace to make it look pretty. And that big box there is the surround for it. So I doubt I'll be using that for a little while, but what we'll do is, like I said, hook it all up and then see what happens. A couple of things to have a look at, if we can. This is the interior of the unit. This is a flexible gas line. You can see it goes, it's pretty hard to see actually. Goes right in the back there, and it is actually quite difficult to see. There we go. Yeah, it goes right in the back of the unit. It can go to the left or the right hand side, so it can go out. There's two holes over there. You can kind of see them. No, kind of. One's got a pipe sticking out through for me to have a look at, and there's two holes on the other side. So the idea is we're going to hook up the gas line shortly, then we'll run electrical, and we're going to run electrical from the left hand side on this unit. It can be run on the right or the left, doesn't matter, but there's already a little fitting in there, if you can see that, is ready to accept wire and a harness. And then we're going to install the optional battery pack. So well, the battery pack adapter basically lets you start it in the event of a power outage. But the good news is the frame was the right dimension, so part of the reason for needing that is needing the width is because you have these handles here that they can come off obviously, but that's why you need the extra couple of inches here. You can see the extra clearance we've got just through there. And anyway, they centered it all up, and yeah, looks good. So there's the venting. You can see they just went straight through the back wall there. Did a good job on that. I'll probably make a little video later. So let's see how we go today. Alrighty, so putting the lock washers, trying to install the traditions, and what I found is seems to be a welding bar blocking one of the holes, so I'm going to very carefully drill that out with an 11/64 drill bit, and should be good to go, because I cannot get this screw through that hole. And this is alright, so here is the Fireplace project. Bit of a work in progress, as you can see. Today I'm going to build out the cabinet on the right hand side there. So you can see I put the bottom cabinet in, I'm going to put the top cabinet in hopefully today. I'm going to assemble this as well. That'll be pretty much the same as the one on the left hand side, so you can see, you probably can't see, but that's two cabinets stacked on top of each other. I made the face frame, needs one more coat of paint, which is why it's not up. And once both face frames are on, then I can tile the fireplace, and that will be that. Okay, so hopefully you can see what I'm about to do here. So now I'm just going to assemble the frame together, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so there it is. It's well, I've got it put in, so that's good. Got a couple of shells in there just to dry, because they I just painted them. So they should dry in here overnight pretty good, and I'll paint them again tomorrow. But yeah, there'll be one more shelf up the top there, and we'll create a face frame exactly like that one, and it should be all good. You may be wondering why there's a bigger gap up there than there is up on that one, because that one took about 2 days to install, and that one took about 10 minutes to install. So made the tolerances too tight on that. It was just a pain in the ass, so I backed off a little bit, and the 6-inch face frame will cover it, so you won't know the difference, which will be good. Anyway, that's it for now.
Didn't get a chance to film making the face frames or anything, but did get a number of stills. So I made the face frame, I painted it, and then installed it. I spray painted pretty much the whole all the cabinet bits. I got the tiles, got those started. I used a leveling system called MLT. It worked really well because I could cut the tiles and dry fit them. The MLT system keeps them in place. Missed out on installing one tile. It was basically an irregularly shaped tile from the factory, and unfortunately I ordered precisely, so I had to wait 2 weeks to get it. So in the meantime, got a TV, picked that up at Costco, got that installed, and then the tile arrived about 2 weeks later, and put that in, so the tiling job was complete. And then it was time for doors. Got those from Barker Doors. They arrived about a week after that tile did, and obviously installed them all, put in the knobs and the handles, and then had to take all that stuff off so I could go and spray paint them. And I used just a furniture grade latex paint, put 3 coats of paint on there, sprayed it over the course of a couple of weekends, and yeah, it turned out pretty good. Super smooth. Basically as smooth as glass, so that's great. Couldn't be happy with the finish. Here's a shot of the fireplace at night time. Got the lights in the cabinets. They change colour because they're LED lights, and yeah, looks great.
Alright, so here's what the final product looks like. As you can see, it's turned out pretty well. Got the fireplace on, it's a cold day here today. TV's hooked up to our media centre, so makes it easy to watch television and whatever you want basically. But yeah, it came together pretty nicely. Looks pretty good, and it was a lot cheaper than getting someone else to do it, so can't really complain. The lights change colour, as you can see. I can turn them to solid colours or turn it white, whatever, but put in an LED strip, and it's all controlled from a switchable outlet, so simple case of turning the switch on, and sure enough all the cabinets light up, so it makes it easy to find stuff in there at night time. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you an idea of how it turned out, so there you go.